Oh, we have different options here. I hadn't even looked at these. So we can promote the Circassians in government, which means we get 100 admin culture we need 100 admin culture progress. And then all power costs are reduced by 5%. That is strong. So that's going to be technology, that's going to be ideas, it's going to be any of those things. Sell off Circassian slaves. We get 0 ducats from our Circassian culture provinces because we have no Circassians. So this is the reason I didn't really want to promote a Circassian. So we need Circassian stuff. Where are the Circassians? Because we're kind of pointless without them. So no, we're going to support the Egyptian Mamluks. We're getting a 554 ruler. Get in! Bearing in mind the highest you can have is a 666. A 554 is fucking good. Excellent. You are, however, a babbling baboon, which means that diplomacy is going to be harder. Thankfully, we've got all the alliances we need right now. And we can do a national decision, so we can denounce sect practices, which means that we are more legalistic. What is our piety right now? It is currently 12, so we are moving towards legalism. I'm going to say let us continue doing that. So we're going to get even cheaper technologies, we're going to make even more money, and we're going to become very wealthy and prosperous. Marvellous. So where is Circassia? Where's the culture overview? There. Circassians, they're up there. Why would we have Circassians from here in Egypt's armies? Is this the game where I play as the Vikings in India? Yes, it is actually. CK2 was me getting to India, and then the EU4 was the continuation of that series where I am in India. So yes, it is that game. March of the Viking series. So I start as Gotland in Crusader Kings 2. I move to India throughout the events of Crusader Kings 2. EU4 is playing as the Indian Vikings, playing through that. And then for Victoria 2, we get to China and we're playing as the Chinese Vikings. I think to your left is Circassian. No, that's Tunisian. Like I said, I was pretty sure that Circassia is up there. So, how we're ever gonna get... where's it gone? These. I have no idea. These seem kind of... Oh, wait. Now it's saying Egypt is based on my ruler. Is totally based on my ruler. Oh, now that's interesting. Okay, so when we started this, like one of the things that they've added is ruler culture and ruler religion. And I was like, what difference can this possibly make? Well, for Egypt at least, it makes a fair bit of difference because it determines what your abilities are. So my previous ruler must have been Circassian, while this one is Egyptian. So because we are... Are we Sunni or Shia? Yeah, we're Sunni. So because of that, this guy is probably more expensive. Nope. Yeah, I still don't know what differences this makes to advisors, except for the fact that my government type means that people of my culture are cheaper? I'm looking at my courier right now. Cost of advisors with ruler's culture minus 25%. So yeah, hiring an advisor is cheaper. The advisor costs are... Hang on, no, that should be down. Maybe I need to wait until the end of the month for that to recalculate, I'm not sure. But these are now Egyptian, so... Yeah, selling off Egyptian slaves would actually help make me a lot of money. Well, that's an interesting mechanic. You need 100 administrative culture progress. You've only gathered 0. I'm going to assume that's just monarch points over time. And I can promote more cultures. Right, because I get 5. We're a very multicultural nation. Despite the fact that I get big bonuses to culture converting people. A babbling buffoon's the ruler of your country. Man, that's a bit close to home. Ramazan have taken out Karaman, so that's these guys starting to coalesce, which is good because the stronger that these guys are, the more that they're going to be able to resist the Ottomans. In fact, the Ottomans are getting bitch slapped right now by Albania and Venice, but mostly Albania. Go Albania! Oh, is this oh, what's his name? Sketlenberg. Can I see the best generals? Yes, I can. Overall, Skandenberg. He is the best general as a 555, and Albania starts with him. And yes, he can really teach the Ottomans a lesson. In fact, historically he did. That's why he has these stats. And it looks like they're doing that just now. So the Ottomans might actually not be as strong. Skandenberg strikes back, exactly. Shaykh al-Islam, where the Qadis are the judge. Okay, we have this option again. So we can elect the foremost mufti, which means that this person lasts for this person's lifetime. Where the Qadis are the judges of the land, the muftis are the ones who provide general legal interpretation and doctrine. A sultanate as large as ours, however, needs an overarching authority over all muftis. Traditionally, this is the role of the Shaykh al-Islam. The Shaykh al-Islam is not only the fatwas himself, but he is also the one to appoint the many regional muftis of our realm. Ultimately, he is the person who will safeguard the legality of the sultan's edicts. Naturally, the man we pick will belong to the Sufi, but there are a number of distinguished candidates to choose from, so we can choose one who is loyal to us for the tax modifier bonus. We can have a righteous Shaykh al-Islam, which will move us towards legalism, or we can have one which moves us towards mysticism. So again, we are moving towards legalism, and that would be 20 points, so we would be up to 40 points, so that's almost halfway. And at the halfway point, we would have a national tax modifier of plus 10. And that's forever, and that's also including tax modifier, manpower, and tech. I mean, it's a fifth of the way, so that would be technically 2.5 of those, so that's 5% plus that, which would be... No, it would be... Yeah. Or we can get one which is just a straight national tax modifier for as long as this ruler lives. I'm going to go with the straight tax modifier because we have a fairly young ruler and I'm hoping they'll be around for a while. Albania's OP. Needed to nerf them. Yeah, Albania is one of the hardest nations to play as successfully. How's the training doing? Oh wow, we're getting a fair amount. 43 army drill. Oh, we take less damage as well for the training. Nice. So yeah, our cavalry regiments are going to be really strong. When does the truce with you guys end? Ends with Cyprus very soon, with Medina in 53, so not for a while. The other thing that we were doing is trying to raise... Right, yeah. Get ready for a fight against them, but that's going to be a ways away. We can get a technology, we can get the military tech. We're absolutely doing that. So we can get the tactics and the land morale, which will make our army significantly stronger. And we got that really quite early, thanks to the plus 150 we got from our amirs. Venice is no longer a valid rival. I could rival France. I'm not going to rival France, that would be silly. Do I have to have a rival? I do. Alright, we'll take Aragon. Seeing as they rival me. And I'm amazed that Venice has not taken Cyprus. Are you allied with someone? You're allied with the Knigets. Does that mean you're at war with the Knights? Yes. So Venice is at war with the Knights, which is interesting because Venice is usually guaranteeing the Knights to stop the Ottomans gobbling them up. So my lack of guarantee over Cyprus and the Venetian lack of guarantee over Rhodes means that the Mediterranean could be really quite dramatically different because both of them are quite strategic. So the difference between mysticism and legalism is dancing around or reading a book. There's a little bit more to it than that. But, yeah. The French have just surrendered Maine to... I thought Maine was up here. Yeah, I don't know. Or was that them surrendering in the 100 Years' War? That was them surrendering in the 100 Years' War. The worldly Ulema. Not all of the members of the Ulema are great theologians or intellectuals. Corruption can grow in any corner of the state, and for some it can be hard to tell apart what benefits the faith and what might benefit themselves. It has come to the attention of Jambalat that a number of pious grants that exist around the empire have been obtained through fraud or illegally passed on to heirs. Our wazir has suggested that we inspect and verify all such grants to the Sultanate, especially in regions that were not originally ruled by us. This would clearly be a grave affront to the Ulema, however, who would see it as an encroachment on their privileges and an attack on their caste as a whole. So the Ulema gains loyalty if we allow the few transgressions, however we do suffer 2 points of corruption. Or the Ulema loses 10 loyalty, which is currently 50, so that's not any dangerous at all. We lose some tolerance to the true faith for 10 years. Which reduces rebel risk, but I don't think we have very much of that, so I'm not too concerned about it. And we lose corruption, which we currently don't have any of. Oh, and that also loses us tax modifier and increases corruption for 10 years. Nah, only traitors have something to fear. Hajj caravans raided. A recent caravan of pilgrims for the holy cities was ambushed and plundered. It is our duty to protect these among our subjects who would be set out for holy cities, and our ability to put them is put into question. This will not happen again, so we lose some prestige and legitimacy, or we must spend more to protect them, which costs us 135 ducats. I'm quite happy to take the prestige and legitimacy here. Oh, no I'm not. My legitimacy is getting to the point where it's actually getting a little dangerous. I really wish that Republican tradition works in the same way. Rather than, oh, it's less than a 100. Alright, here, have some penalties. It's only 5. Screw it. We'll lose the 5. And then we can invite a scholar. So this is one of the other special things which Islamic nations can do now. Where can I do this, though? I'm not seeing it. Ah, invite a scholar. A tiny little button has appeared. So we can invite a Hanafi scholar. Admin power of at least 50. Ajam's opinion on Mamluks is at least 150. We do not have an Hanafi scholars. We have an alliance, or they're a subject, or they're an overlord. So these are the Sunni guys, and then these are the Shia. So the Sunni ones are aggressive expansion reduction, development cost reduction, which is a very nice one. How do we get that? Tunis. We need to be friends with Tunis. Or we can get legitimacy, shock damage increase, and shock damage reduction. So these two with my cavalry forces would be quite strong too. Shirvan and Gilan. I think we're going to try and get the development one though. So Tunis. Let's see if we can do something with Tunis. We already are. Of course we are. And they would actually accept an alliance. So let's just go and cancel you for a second. This is those guys. And we're going to offer you an alliance, which will use an additional slot, but I think it's worthwhile. And that should allow us to get the Maliki scholar so we can decrease the development costs, which I am always a big fan of. And that lasts for 20 years, or we can get the Hanafi for 20 years, which is the admin cost. We haven't got any admin tax. Early game you tend to actually have a fair amount of monarch points, so I am going to take the development. Lovely jubbly. You're playing EU4 at the moment. It's good. Just don't play as the Timurids in the new expansion. The Renaissance. Since the 14th century, the wealthy and powerful in the Italian city-states have been patronising the artists and scholars willing to explore the old Roman and Greek societies of their forefathers. As a cultural movement, the Renaissance already encompasses most of the region and has had a profound impact on literature, art, philosophy and music. Humanist scholars are also analysing the society in which they live, comparing it to the ideals of the classical philosophers. At the turn of the 1450s, Renaissance humanism has grown into a more mature movement, ready to permeate all aspects of society. A new ideal for rulers as well as those who are ruled is spreading quickly as the early printers can distribute copies of these new ideas. A true Renaissance humanist is an expert on everything from politics to philosophy to art, textual analysis, music, architecture. The Renaissance is now ready to reshape the world to better fit its classical ideals. And big question, where did it spawn? It spawned in Naples. So the Napoleons will be spreading it, which is a good thing because we don't have negative relations with them. Although they're not adjacent to us. I think that only spreads through adjacency, right? Nearby friendly province and adjacent province. So yeah, it's only through adjacency. So we're going to have to basically wait for it to spread across the Mediterranean. What is wrong with the Timurids? What is wrong with the Timurids is this. Or worse than this is when Ming decides to support the independence of one of your vassals. So all of your vassals say, oh, that's a 100% support rating. Okay, we're out by within a year of starting the game. So the entire reason to play as the Timurids now is completely broken, which is their vassals. They are basically the Burgundy of the region. It's like, what would it be like? It would be like France supporting the independence of the Burgundian vassals, except they're vassals and not personal union. Can you support the independence of personal union? I guess he can. In fact, yeah, that would be a really strong way for France to completely screw Burgundy. No, it wouldn't be like that. It would be like Russia supporting the independence of Burgundy, because they are absolutely nowhere near and have absolutely no relevance to that region. France at least has a strategic reason to do it. Russia would be like, screw that guy in particular. Press nukes. Anyway, let's get over that. It's just one small down point. Playing as a Mamluk so far has been pretty good. I quite like this. Right, so we need to continue spy networking against you. 3 more years until I can declare war on those two. Somewhat less before we can declare war on Mercuria. And they're already... Hang on, are you at war someone? No, you just don't like us. So we can fabricate a claim on Quasir Ibrim. This will put us at war with Alodia, but there's nothing we can really do against them, so I am perfectly happy to do that. Our drilling is now at 50%, but I think that we need to bump up our maintenance, and I need to stop you guys from drilling. And let's start arraying our troops down here. Let's do that. And we'll need to split you up again, I think. Royal marriage from Tunis. That sounds appropriate to me. Alright. I'm going to split you in half. I'm going to send half of you in there as well. Just to make sure that we have a decent number of infantry to the cavalry. Group you together. In fact, we can send you as well, because I think we can have roughly equal numbers because we are Muslim. Ulema gains 10 influence. Actually, that's a good thing. Because the Ulema are still pretty happy with us. If we give them support to the clergy, then their influence goes up to 55%, which means that we can now do the demand admin support and we get 100 admin, which is now worth doing. 13 and 13. What is my cavalry ratio? Does it say somewhere nice and useful? It says here, doesn't it? Comprised of 60%, so 13 plus numbers. So we should be fine. Meanwhile, we can declare war when we have a diplomat. We now have a diplomat. We're going to declare war on you. Declaring war on a Coptic will move us towards legalism by 25%. I am totally fine with that. Alodia would not join. Interesting. And we're not calling our own allies, so that is totally fine. This is going to be a surprisingly easy war. Even though I'm on half morale, I'm still going to risk the attack just because we hugely outnumber them. Plus we've been drilling. Good. Right, you come and siege that down. You come and siege that down. You guys come up here and get back to training, I would say. Leader trait gained, hardy warrior, minus 20% land attrition. That is really strong in the in this area. Oh, fantastic. Okay, happy with that. Hey, Dana. So we should be able to siege these down, no problem. You can go back to drilling. Mamluks have occupied Wadi. Marvellous. You can head up here as well, and because we're not actually fighting anyone anymore, we can just drop our maintenance once more. And this war is as good as over. Just need to take the capital. And then we can get ready for our fight against Medina. Although, wait, no, it's still like 3 years before we can do that, isn't it? Well, that's going to allow my aggressive expansion to reduce, so I can probably take both provinces here. Especially as the province I have a claim on is their capital. Which means that that's going to be a whole lot cheaper. Cyprus has accepted peace. Full annexation was demanded. Did they take out the knights, though? No, the knights are still alive. Influence in the cabinet. Many of the faithful Sunni Mamluks see our Grand Captain, Abd al-Aziz Ali, as a threat to the theological purity of the government. It is feared that through his influence, Jalabut will be convinced to favour the Shia in government, or indeed that he might turn the Sultan himself away from the true faith. So our military advisor is removed, so this is where the culture comes in. Or we say preposterous. The Ulema loses another 10 loyalty. And we lose more legitimacy and prestige. I'm going to have to get rid of you, buddy. Because I really can't afford to lose more legitimacy. It's already horrifically low. Plus, we can just hire another one. And we're going to go with the disciplinarian. It's going to cost us 3, but we're now gaining 2 military a month. You're an Egyptian Sunni, so you're probably cheaper. You are! Mamluk government, minus 25%, so absolutely want to grab Egyptians. Because they are the same culture. Beware the Ottomans. The Ottomans are in no position to do anything against me right now. They are being attacked successfully by Albania. Which I think is still hilarious. In fact, Venice is at war with the Ottomans. The Ottomans have no navies. I think they're at war with Hungary. Yeah, Venice, Hungary, Corfu, Naxos and Albania. So they've got Skanderberg against them. They've got the Venetian navy, Hungarian numbers, Albanian leadership, plus Corfu and Naxos. So yeah, the Ottomans at the moment are in absolutely no position to do anything. The condottieri agreement between Baden and Austria has been cancelled due to participation in the same war. Man, Timurids, you had such potential. Now we are losing money, but that's because we... Why are we losing money? Because our army maintenance is still really high, because we're drilling all of these guys. Right, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to split you guys out and have it so it's just the cavalry drilling. And that should make it, yeah, loads cheaper. So my cavalry are going to be this just elite, ridiculous, we're going to squish everything arm of my military, while the infantry are just kind of the auxiliaries. And the reason I'm doing that is because my cavalry do actually have bonuses already, thanks to the national ideas. So cavalry combat ability plus 10%, plus the shock damage and resistance that they get from the drilling, plus it makes my general better because active drilling makes generals better, now over time. Plus it gives me more army professionalism as a whole, which is this line. So here we get salaried soldiers, which means we can get the supply depots. I was going to investigate what on earth a supply depot was. Ah, and that's another option you have. So you can slacken recruiting standards, which gives you 6,000 manpower, but lowers the army professionalism by 5. So that is a good source of manpower now. Interesting. At regimental mustering, we can refill garrisons, which I think is basically transferring manpower into garrisons like directly. We regain manpower when disbanding armies when we have a conscription army. Generals are half cost with the permanent army. And then finally, a professional army. Reduce morale damage taken by reserves, plus 50%. So that means the reserves are a lot stronger. And the army drills twice as quickly. How does this go down? Decreases if you recruit mercenaries. Ah, okay. So it would actually be fairly easy, especially later on, to maintain fully strong armies. I like this professionalism mechanic. I think it's going to be very interesting, especially playing with someone like Prussia. It's going to be awesome. Right, so if we were to grab all of this, we would get 16 aggressive expansion, but that's in this area. And that would be with everyone who's not Islamic. So I doubt that many people would really care. Ethiopia might, but we don't really care about Ethiopia. Yoink! It's ours now. Right, then you guys can head back up here and just recharge for a while. We could core those, and I see no reason that we don't do this right now. War exhaustion adds a little bit, but not a huge amount. Venice has announced Austria as a new rival. That's probably not a good idea for you. And we now have to wait 2 more years before we can go and attack these guys. And we're going to need a lot of aggressive expansion potential. In fact, nobody cares the slightest that we took that land. Even Ethiopia is just like, it's fine, have it. We didn't want it anyway. Was Ethiopia at war with them as well, I wonder? Because Elodia's fighting against Ethiopia right now. And they could well have pulled in their ally. Even though their ally... No, I would have broken their alliance because they refused the call. Which is why Ethiopia is now jumping on Dongola, trying to block me off. Which is reasonable. Also, when do I get my new technologies? Oh, I can get admin right now. Is there any reason not to? No, I want to get these early while I can. Plus production efficiency, which will mean more money. Plus mosques. Oh, mosques. They... Tax modifier. Yes, please. 1, 2, 3. Marvellous. And you're finally killing those rebels. Oh, excellent. Well done. So you are now secure once again. We do have a fairly high chance of an uprising, and it is rising, so we'll need to keep an eye on it. Where is that? Fayum, Rashid, Gazad, Rimaj, Askia. I don't know where these places are. Antica, that's alright. Antioch, of course. Where's that gone? Fayum, is that up here? Don't see that. Homs isn't here. Habab, no. Why are they unhappy? There's Jaffa. Oh, it's all the places which are noble estate. Oh, we have a new estate. Dimmy. Tolerance of heathens is increased. Are these the educated guys? Tech cost reduction, yeah they are. So who are the Dhimmi? Originally a term reserved for Christians and Jews, the Dhimmi are the non-Muslim subjects of the Muslim realm. The status and privileges can vary greatly between different states, as do both their organisation and numbers. Traditionally it's just the responsibility of a just ruler to protect these people while keeping them apart from the Muslim majority. These principles are not always as easy to keep in parts of the world where the Dhimmi may constitute the majority of the population themselves, however. Hey fiddlers. And manpower is still going up steadily. Sailors not really going down because I'm not using ships yet, really. Too early for trade ships. They're not very strong at this point. And how much longer on that stupid truce? Stupid truce. Stupid truce is stupid. May 53. A year and a bit. We're getting there. We're getting there.